think bombing another nation's capital and removing their president is an act of war. Anybody who argues otherwise, I think, has a very difficult argument. So, yes, the Constitution indicates this should go to Congress first.
It is one thing for Rand Paul to criticize Trump on X, but it is a whole other to go on Fox, the state-run media, and call him out.
Well, I mean, you know, in that soundbite we played, you were arguing that, look, you know, I mean, are we going to go and remove somebody in Saudi Arabia? I mean, with all due respect, I think the goal here is to stop the drug and human trafficking into America. And I don't think Saudi Arabia is sending fentanyl into America.
Well, neither is Venezuela. Venezuela doesn't export any fentanyl at all.
Well,
in
what
fact,
about cocaine?
Their main product,
what about cocaine?
Well, there is some argument, yes, on the cocaine front that there are people within that country. There are also people within several countries in South America that are producing cocaine.
MAGA, the America First, the No New Wars, electing the, quote, peace president, is finding out how much of a hoax Trump really is, and it is fracturing the MAGA coalition. Megyn Kelly becoming the latest to distance herself. Megyn Kelly, who even tried to give support to Epstein, saying that somehow the fact that the girls he trafficked were maybe 16 or 15 was better because they weren't 8 or 9. That Megyn Kelly, the one who seems to be willing to support Trump at all costs, she distanced herself from this capture of the Venezuelan leader, this idea that we are now going to run Venezuela. She came out and said that Fox News was like Russian propaganda. A stunning statement from somebody who has been unwilling to distance herself from Trump or Fox in any other way. As we know, she is herself a former Fox News anchor. Well, she went on her show and said that after taking Maduro out, she listened to Fox and didn't like how they were all cheering this action, that there wasn't any criticism or doubt around it. How she said the fact was that kids who may go over there may include people like her son, and that the way that the news anchors on Fox were acting was as if it was Russian propaganda. Those of us here on MeidasTouch who well know for some time that Fox News is indeed propaganda. I mean, the idea that they paid almost $1 billion because they were willing to peddle the lies about the 2020 election and continue to basically be the mouthpiece for Trump. Finally, a little bit of a further crack in this Trump support that perhaps will save the rest of us, with having even somebody like Megyn Kelly concede that Fox is propaganda.
When I was at Fox News, which was a long time, 14 years, I would have known exactly what to do in the wake of Trump's attack in Venezuela, his retrieval, shall we say, to put it in mild terms, of Nicolas Maduro. I would have known that I was supposed to cheerlead it. And I turned on Fox News yesterday, and I'm sorry, but it was like watching Russian propaganda. There was nothing skeptical. It was all rah, rah, cheerleading. Yes, let's go. And that's fine. I love our military as much as anyone, and I believe in President Trump, but there are serious reasons to just exercise a note of caution before we just get on the rah, rah train. All right. I have done that enough times in my career as a Fox News anchor to have been embarrassed enough to know I'm going to stay on the yellow light for this. I'm not in the green light territory. I'm not in the red light territory either, but I am staying in the yellow light territory for now.
Thomas Massie is yet another crack in the MAGA support over Venezuela, going out on X, talking about how this is about oil, and talking about the fact that Paul Singer, a major Republican donor who evidently is trying to unseat Thomas Massie, according to Thomas Massie, is set to make billions of dollars on his distressed Citgo investment because of this Venezuela takeover. He is calling out Trump and the oligarchs that this is some sort of business deal, which frankly, Trump is not really even hiding very well. But for whatever reason, the Trump establishment figures are willing to toe the line and still go along with it anyway. But the MAGA diehards like Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's also going on the news and talking about the fact that we should be caring about America and America healthcare and that we have no business running Venezuela. Some of the most loud and vocal MAGA supporters, former Trump supporters, people that cut through the noise, they are speaking out against Trump.
Mr. Speaker, James Madison warned us that in no part of the Constitution is more wisdom to be found than in the clause which confides the question of war and peace to the legislature and not the executive. Madison called it the crown jewel of Congress. The framers understood a simple truth. To the extent that war-making power devolves to one person, liberty dissolves. If the president believes military action against Venezuela is justified and needed, he should make the case and Congress should vote before American lives and treasure are spent on regime change in South America. Let's be honest about likely outcomes. Do we truly believe that Nicolas Maduro will be replaced by a modern-day George Washington? How did that work out? In Cuba, Libya, Iraq, or Syria, previous presidents told us to go to war over WMDs, weapons of mass destruction, that did not exist. Now it's the same playbook, except we're told that drugs are the WMDs. If it were about drugs, we'd bomb Mexico or China or Colombia, and the president would not have pardoned Juan Orlando Hernandez. This is about oil and regime change.
This is gutsy what you're doing, and President Trump is targeting you. You're up for re-election this November, obviously. On Monday, President Trump posted on Truth Social a photograph of him with your primary challenger, retired Navy SEAL officer Ed Gallarine. Trump writing that Captain Ed Gallarine has my complete and total endorsement against, quote unquote, Congressman Thomas Massie. He only votes against the Republican Party, making life very easy for the radical left, unquote. Obviously, that's factually incorrect. I'm sure you vote with the Republican Party like 90 or 95% of the time. But what's your reaction?
Yeah, I vote 91% of the time with the party, but when they're covering up for pedophiles or starting a new war or doing regime change or bankrupting the country, and that 9%, Jake, I'm not with my party. It definitely hurts me to campaign with the president against me. I've got a Republican primary. It's going to be hotly contested. And that's why, Jake, you don't see other members of the Republican Party sticking their necks out. They're afraid of the president. Ironically, though, after that tweet, I raised $80,000 in people who want to see somebody up here who will speak their mind and speak for their constituents instead of just for their party. And by the way, most of those donors are Trump supporters. They just want to see a Republican who will exhibit some independent thought.
They are speaking out in a way that will at least cause more cracks in this MAGA movement. As we can see, it seems like Marjorie Taylor Greene is starting a whole new movement, America First, which doesn't seem to include Trump. Whether or not we have even more people, Rand Paul, Thomas Massie, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Megyn Kelly, and even more possibly coming out and speaking against Trump.
Again, from an America First standpoint, Caitlin, Venezuela belongs to the Venezuelan people, and they should elect their own government leaders. We have elected our government leaders, the Trump administration, and we've elected them to run America, not to be globalist, not to run other countries, not to pursue regime change and foreign wars. We very much need our government and our government leaders to focus on the American people and the issues that we care about on Main Street, USA.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.